Hello and welcome to another live lesson, AM language with me, Mr. R. Welcome to today's lesson. If you're watching this later, fast forward the first 5 minutes because it usually takes us about 5 minutes to get into things. Today we are going to look at paraphrasing, a really important ability to do. And we will look at that today. It's great for it's great for exam English. It's great for business English. It's very useful for general English. So it's really important to know how to paraphrase properly. Hope you're all well. If you had a morning class, I hope it went well. And or if you had an intensive, Bruno Okada, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson, and to you too as well, Irina F. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. I hope you're doing well. To those of you who are watching this who did a level test today, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you all did well in the upper intermediate level test. So best of luck there. And as for Leondina, hello, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. And Alida as well. Good afternoon and buenas tardes, Ricardo. Thank you very much, Alida. Buenos dias to you. Buono pomeriggio to Leondina. Privyet to Irina F. And obrigado and konnichiwa to Bruno Okada. Welcome to today. We're not going to jump into it just yet. We still are going to wait another 5 minutes or so. I'm just thinking about the lighting. I don't think this is the best light at the moment, but I hope that I will be able to get better lighting soon, so it's not so there aren't too many shadows. I'll bring the thing closer to me though. Yeah, today we are going to look at paraphrasing. And the important thing when it comes to paraphrasing is the ability and the knowledge to know how you can say the same thing except using different words. And if needs be, possibly changing the grammar. So that is what we are going to look at today. It's a really good technique to know. It's really useful when it comes to listening, reading. It can be very good when it comes to writing. And of course, it even has a place when it comes to speaking. So that is what we're going to look at today. We'll start off, we'll jump straight into it in just a moment. We're not going to go in super easy. We're not going to go in super difficult. We'll build up to, and we'll gradually make things a little bit more difficult. The important thing with paraphrasing is the ability and knowledge of know how to use different synonyms and how to construct the order of the sentence differently. It's very common that you'll have to think between, should you make your object your subject or your subject your object? So we can have a look at all that. So let's go with the first one. Okay, I'm going to go with this idea. I'm just going to start off with one sentence to begin with. So we're coming up to the four minutes and something. So I'll start. So let's take a look at this, okay? Oops. Let's say you go for a sentence like this, which reads, I have always been fascinated by politics. So first thing we can see here, we can see that I is going to be the subject, okay? And we know that have always been fascinated. So we know it's a present perfect. So it's telling us that this started sometime in the past and it's continued up to the present. And then we've got our clear object of the sentence, which is going to be politics and culture. So we then need to start thinking, okay, how can we say this differently? Because that's the idea of paraphrasing. First things first, we've got this word. Now we can't, if we want to remain in the present perfect, then we need to stay in the present perfect. So we can't really change much about that. We can change a few words. And the important thing with paraphrasing is that we don't change the meaning. So this is the first thing. We can't change the meaning. So first things first, let's start off with a simple synonym. Let's see if we can think of a synonym for fascinated. Can you think of a synonym for fascinated? It's something to do with being really interested in something. So let's build this one up together from the beginning. Can you guys think of a synonym for the word fascinated? Something that still says the same thing as fascinated, being, you know, some, but let's try and not go for something too simple. At a very simple level, fascinated is to be very, very interested in something. Can we think of an alternative for this one? Okay. So Alida has gone in with politics and culture have always captivate. Oh, really close. You've gone with the right idea. We need to work a little bit on the word captivate. You're going to, I think you, now it's either because you thought it was different or this is just a typo, but just have a little look at the word captivate, Alida. Now captivate, to be captivated, is a really good synonym in terms of the meaning that we can use. So yeah, captivate, yeah, captivated. So captivated, if you're captivated by something, you are fascinated by something. So yes, I think that works well. Very interested is another, sure. Okay. So we have some good examples to think about there. Now, Alida has played around with the structure, so let's just think about it. What are we saying? Ultimately, the meaning of this sentence is quite clear. We're saying that there's a great interest interest in politics and cultures. That's the meaning of the sentence. So we can't play around with that meaning. Okay, there we go. That should work fine. Leondina says intrigue. Yeah, you could use intrigue, and in the past it would be intrigued. Okay. Now let's play around with this. So to build up, first of all, we've got one. I have always been captivated by politics and culture. You could change that to being, I've always been intrigued. So, yep, you could go for that. I've always been intrigued, fascinated, captivated. These are good synonyms of each other. Good. Now let's move on to the next thing. 2. Do we talk about I or do we talk about the object? Well, if we change the object and we've done what Alida has done, then we're going to change this to the subject, which would be politics and culture. Okay. Strongly attracted. Yeah, you could go strongly attracted to. You would need the preposition there, to. But that could work. So building on this, we could say politics and culture have always let's go with have always intrigued. Let's go with that. Intrigued me. Okay. Linda says politics and culture have always intrigued me. Okay, so we said the same thing at the same time. So we can see how we're building this up. What about if we don't want to change the subject too much? We want to go with politics and culture at the end of the sentence. You've got option 3 as well. Option 3, instead of going with I have always been captivated by politics and culture, we could play around with this just a little bit. For instance, what has always captivated me? What has always captivated me has been uh, politics and culture. This is the third option. Kind of strange what we've done. We've gone in what has always captivated me has been politics and culture. We've gone with 2 present perfects in a row. We're now playing around with the grammar. We've gone in with what as well instead of I. We've only referred to ourselves once with me. So that's one way of doing it. So we need to be a little bit careful. I have been, again, if we want to go with adding more to this sentence, we could say, as far as I can remember, we can go in with a phrase. Politics and culture have, and culture have always yeah, let's go with that. Has always intrigued me. So there's a few things that we can do. We can always go with a phrase, we can rearrange things, and we need to be a little bit careful in the way we go about it. So let's look at some phrases that we can use as well. So as far as I can remember, which is as much as I can remember, really. Okay, so we've thought about some things here. Let's go with the next sentence. Okay, we're now going to add more to it. So we're going to add another sentence here. So we're just going to slowly build the complicated level up, the level of complication up. So the original, I have always been fascinated by politics and culture. Full stop. So we've already looked at that one, but we're just going to add another thing to it, which is I want to work in, if it's going to be related to this, I suppose it's going to be I want to work in the government. Yeah, I want to work in the government once I have graduated. Okay, right. Now we're making things a little bit more difficult. We've got 2 sentences to deal with. So let's say we've got the first one. You could go with politics and culture have always intrigued me, for example. That's your first sentence. How do we go about the second one? I want to work in the government once I have graduated. What's the meaning in this sentence? Okay, let's look very carefully. So before we go further, let's just all agree on what the meaning of this particular sentence is. Does it mean A, they have graduated and now want to work in the government? Does it mean B, they have not finished studying yet, but once they do, they will work for the government? Or does it mean 3? Person plans to work for the government after they graduate. So which one has the correct meaning for this particular part of the sentence? So I want to work in the government once I have graduated. Does it mean A, they have graduated and now want to work in the government? Does it mean B, they have not finished studying yet, but once they do, they will work for the government? Or 3, the person plans to work for the government after they graduate. So all of you have gone for C. Hello, Sergio. Good afternoon as well. Well done. Because B, you could easily gone for B. B looks very much like the answer, but it's not the correct answer. There's a modal verb there, will, which changes the meaning of the sentence. So I'm glad that we've all understood the meaning of that sentence. So now let's look at the next bit. Okay. We've got once I've graduated, for example. So let's play around with this. I'm going to introduce some words, and I would like you to try and put them in the order that you think it will work. So uh, okay, right. I think that's going to be okay. Let's see how you guys get on with this. This is a jumbled sentence overall. If you think you need to add anything, then please do. You have permission to do so. You do not need to just use the words over here, but you've got to think about the correct order. So you've got after, you've got graduation, wish, you've got is, to, the government, my, work, in. Try and put them in the correct order in some sort of way. If you want to add more words, you can do. We've just changed 1 or 2 words to begin with here. So for instance, here we've got in the original one, I have graduated. We've gone with a present perfect. In this case, there doesn't seem to be any present perfect just yet. And I've changed graduate to graduation. So that's going to, I've changed it from a verb to a noun. Let's see how you guys can put things together. You've got once they something. So once I have graduated, once I have. You've got this once I have, which effectively means after a period of time or after this event, after this action, then something else will happen. So let's see how you guys do. And there's more than one correct answer to this, so don't be worried. There is more than one correct answer to this particular question. Well, to this particular exercise, there's more than one correct one. Okay, let's see how you guys do. So you've got this jumbled up sort of sentence here. You've got after graduation, wish is to the government, my work in. Leader's gone with after my graduation, my wish is to work in the government. Okay, I think that's really good. You don't need my twice. You could probably just go with after graduation, my wish is to work in the government. And that would be a perfect sentence, actually, a leader. So you don't need to put my twice. The rest of the sentence is perfect. Absolutely perfect. So well done. Let's see if anyone else would like to come in with their own version. Like I said, there's going to be more than one correct answer in this case. Bruno Carter says, after my graduation, I wish Work in the government. Oh, so close. After my graduation, that works. We'd probably have to put a comma. Um, comma. I wish to work in the government. You just need the preposition wish to, okay? Whenever you use the word wish, we will often have to think whether we need the preposition to. Leondina says, yes, well done, Bruno. Leondina says, once I have graduated, my wish is to work in my government. Okay, that's one a way of saying it. You probably say I wish to work in the government or wish to work for the government. That would probably be a bit better if we did go for when I think about it. Good, though. We're off to a good start. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay. Let's make this just a little bit more difficult now. So we have let's go with this. Okay, so the original. So we've already done the first two sentences. I have always been fascinated by politics and culture. I want to work in the government once I have graduated. I saw a job vacancy yesterday and it seemed perfect. Now, so far we've come up with some good alternatives to the first sentences. We've got, for instance, we'll probably start off changing the order around a bit with politics and culture have always intrigued me. We could say maybe let's go for here. Let's go with this next answer here. After graduation, my wish is to work in the government. You've got the option to go with for as well. I wish to work for the government. Both could be potentially right. So now we need to think about the last one. Okay. I saw a job vacancy yesterday and it seemed perfect. Okay, let's see how you guys go about trying to complete this one. We need to think of a synonym of saw. Okay. So we need to think about saw. Obviously, job, vacancy. If you can think of a synonym, even better. And seemed, which means looked, and then we've got perfect. Effectively means well suited or suitable. Okay, so this is something we're going to have to think about here. So feel free to try and put the words into some kind of meaning. You'll have to add words to this one. Sergio says, one I found out, or Sergio says, change what else? Okay, so this is what you need to do. So try and work in your ideas over here. You've got the main sentence. I saw a job vacancy yesterday and it seemed perfect. Now you need to create a new sentence. If you want to choose synonyms to the words there, you can do, but you've got to create a meaning with a word either saw or a word related to saw. Job vacancy seemed perfect and well suited. So that's what you're going to have to look for in order to complete this exercise. Let's see what you guys go for here. Really try and think of synonyms for this one as well. It will help. And then we'll progress to the next one, which will be harder than this. So we're going in quite sort of at a reasonably difficult level. Alida says, yesterday I found out an unfilled position and it looks just right for me. Okay, yesterday, well, we're starting with yesterday, so we'll probably put a comma. I found out an unfiled position. An unfiled position, that still works. It looks like, and it looks like just for me, and it looks, I see what you're going for because it was just for me. I see what you can go with. I think we could change that last bit, and it looks. We've got this term, and it looked well suited to me. We've got that term, which means it looks like it was just, ideal for me, perfect for me. Sergio says, I found out a job opportunity yesterday, and it looks perfect. Okay, I think an alternative to perfect, and it looks ideal. Don't forget that. That's a good synonym over there. Okay, maybe you want to try and turn things around. Maybe you want to put your object of your sentence in this as your subject, and your subject to your object. See if you can play around with that and see what you come up with. I need some water. So, yeah, feel free to try and play around with the order. If you like, you can start off at the end, put that at the beginning, put the object maybe at the beginning. I can give you an example if you like. This is one thing I'm going to go with here. Maybe it'll give you guys some ideas, but I'm going to mix it up for you. So you guys need to try and put them into the correct order in order, funny enough, for this to work. So I'm going to put this here for those of you who are not too sure. Maybe you don't want to take a risk. So have a little look at this. See what you go with. Ooh, no, what's happened? Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try. Okay, good. I'm back. There was a brief interference. I don't know why. So Leondina says, I noticed there is a good opportunity of work that looks favorable to me. And the leader says, there is a job opportunity I found out yesterday that it's perfect for me. Oh, really close. I think overall, the type of the paraphrasing you're going for, I think it works to a degree. I think there's some things that we can just alter. So if I look at the first one, I noticed there, you see here we've gone with notice. So we're going to have to make sure that noticed isn't followed by is, but was. So you would have to say, I noticed, okay, there was a good opportunity, a good opportunity for work. Maybe you could go with for, but a good work opportunity. I think that's better. A good work opportunity that looks favorable to me. That would then work. So we just need to change those two things in your sentence, Leondina. As for Alida, there is a job opportunity I found. Here we don't need out. I think you can just remove out and just say, but then you've used yesterday, so this is going to have to be there was a, a job opportunity I found yesterday, And then I would say this is going to be a which looks perfect for me. So there we can play around with it a bit, but really close. Meaning, yes, structure, we just need to work on a bit. Bruno Carter says, yesterday, comma, appears a new opportunity of job, and looks perfect match for me. So close, but again, it's the same error, guys. Don't forget, if you use okay, yesterday, this is a past time marker. Okay, I cannot use any present. I cannot use any present grammar structure. I can't use the present verb to be, being is or am or are. Okay, so I cannot do that. Aline says, I came across an ideal job yesterday. Yes, so that's following on from one that I looked at yesterday. Sorry, that's the one that I looked. So let me start again. Well done, Alida. That is the correct answer. That's going off the example I put up above, where you had to rearrange the words into the correct order. What you can see as well is that we don't need to write a lot of words to say the same thing. Right. We're now entering the last 15 minutes. Let's go for the next one. I'm now going to give you a harder one to do. Let's see how you guys do. So let's go with... Okay. Okay, so the sentence is two sentences here. I met John in our business meeting yesterday, and I think it went well. I think we can make a deal that will work for us. Now, you guys need to try and recreate this, and you need to think of how you're going to do it. But I'm going to give you some help. Okay, so you need to use the following. I'm not going to give you everything, but here are some pointers, okay? Some things you can think about. Let's go with... let's go with... Okay, guys, try and rewrite the sentence. I've just put in some things here. So we've got some things that we can look at. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to try and rewrite this sentence. We've looked at lots of things already, but one of the things that I would like you guys to look at here is the following. We need to try and rewrite the sentence. And we've got to think about a few things. I'm happy to report. And now this is a good phrase we can use, and we would use this mainly at the start of a sentence. Spoke to, this is probably instead of a word like it seemed. And finally, we've got two more. Believe, which is a synonym to think in this case, and positive instead of well. Let's see. And now you guys can expand on that, and you can come up with even more ideas that you think that you can go with. But definitely experiment, and let's see what you guys come up with. It's always interesting to see. This is not easy, though. This is not easy, but it's so important to know how to do it. Now, it's unlikely we'll have time to look at the listening side of things, but of how to paraphrase listening. But at least in terms of writing here, this should be good. So let's give you guys a bit of time to try and create your own sentences. To those of you who are watching this later, please leave your answers in the comment section below. I would be more than happy to go back, read through, and see what you guys have to say. If you're finding this difficult, like the video, because it is difficult. It's not easy. You definitely have to think quite hard. We started off at a nice pace, and now we're really finishing off at quite a high pace. It's the sort of pace you would definitely get in maybe our upper intermediate classes at times, with the level of difficulty involved, especially with a skill like paraphrasing. So here we've got, okay, I met John in our business meeting yesterday, and I think it went well. I think we can make a deal that will work for us. Okay, I'm happy to report, spoke to, believe, and positive. So we need to try and put those words in there. What I would say is, as well, is if you can say something in fewer words, English is good to do that, trying to reduce your word count. Paraphrasing is a really good way to know how to reduce your word count. Leondina and Bruno have entered. So let's see. Bruno has written, I'm happy to report after I met John yesterday at the meeting, we are positive about the next deal. Okay, I think there's a lot of elements that work quite well there. I think there could be a little bit more slight difference. I like the fact you used positive. I'm happy to report. I think there's perhaps something else you could change just in the middle. After, probably we'd say after I met, or we met, or they met, we need a pronoun there. So after, like, we met John yesterday at the meeting, we were positive. So I think there's a lot of good things about that sentence, Bruno. Might need to, at some point later on, just have another look at the commas, maybe one too many commas. But overall, I think that's a really good effort. So I'm going to give that a 7 to 8 out of 10. So well done, Bruno. Leodina says, during our business meeting, I saw John, and speaking to him, I can positively believe we can make a deal suitable for us. Okay, there's a lot of things I like about that. I think I'm going to work backwards. You finished off with suitable for us, so that's a good way of doing it. I believe, yes, I can positively believe. Technically that works, and technically you've put the adverb in the right place. During our business meeting, I saw John, and speaking to him, I would just say, if you're going to go with that, I'd be tempted just to put in a preposition such as after, and after speaking to him. So that's really good. Well done. I think you can feel very pleased about this with yourself there, Leondina. Again, I would say slightly different to Bruno's, but definitely a high score out of 10, maybe like an 8. Definitely an 8 out of 10. Alida says, yesterday in our business conference, I spoke to John, and I believe it went positive. I'm happy to report we can make a deal which fits us. Let's go through this. Yesterday, comma, in our business conference, I spoke to John, and I believe it went all the way to the end. Well, we just need to finish off, and I believe it went, and we need an adverb, not the adjective. So, and it went, I would say, and either it was encouraging, or it went well, it went smoothly, it went down very well. So you've got a few options there. I'm happy to report we can make a deal which fits us. I would say the only small difference here is I'm happy to report that we can make a deal that fits us. I think if you're going to go with which, you'll probably just need the comma before. So again, really strong sentence. Definitely an 8 out of 10. Really good stuff there, Alida. Sergio says, when I turned up yesterday in our business something business meeting, for example, I had a reunion. Here we just need an article before the noun reunion. So I had a reunion with John, and it was better than I imagined. We can't go with imagine here because we're now jumping to the present when we need to stay in the past. So it went better than I imagined, or I could have imagined. You could go with the present perfect. I feel something good coming to us with our deal. I see what you're going with. I feel good. We don't need something here. We could say I feel good about this deal, for example. So just one or two really small changes in all this. So really well done. Again, I would say well done, Sergio. I think you did well there. I would say I would say it's a bit like Bruno, 7 to 8 out of 10. Some good stuff there. So all really different. But what I'm pleased with is, okay, there's one or two bits of accuracy we need to be careful of. Main accuracy we need to be careful of is switching from the past to the present. We don't want to do that. But in terms of achieving the task in paraphrasing, saying the same thing but in a different way, all of you have achieved that. So on the main objective of today's lesson, 10 out of 10. So maximum marks there. In terms of accuracy, one or two things we can work on, but really well done. It was not easy. It's not an easy task at all. Paraphrasing can be very, very difficult. So well done on that one. What I would like to do is, guys, just to finish off today, don't forget you've got the options this week. You've got Surfside dinner tonight. Tomorrow you've got the option to go to Golden Bay and Paradise Bay, the Blue Grotto as well. Saturday, Thursday, because today's Wednesday. Later on today, you have go-karting. Tomorrow, Thursday, you've got the options of windsurfing, scuba diving, and Surfside dinner. Friday, you've got visiting the temples, Blue Grotto, great place to swim. Also, beach sunset tour, Golden Bay, Paradise Bay. And Saturday, you've got Gozo, you've got Camino, and Sunday, you've got some kayaking and splash and fun at the water parks as options. So some good things to go to this week regarding the activities. Sandra says, yesterday, at a meeting with our business partners, I had a good talk with John, and I'm happy to announce we did a successful. We don't forget when you make a deal. Okay, the verb that with deal is not, you don't do a deal, you make a deal. So all nearly good, just not quite at the end. You don't need the comma after announce. You could just go with I'm happy to, and I would say probably announce. I would say report would be the better choice as well, Sandra. Announce is quite a big thing. You're like announcing on your social media pages or to your customer base. But in this case, I would say report. I'm happy to report that we made a successful deal. That would make sense. So don't forget, guys, you make a deal. That's the That's the verb that goes with the noun deal. You're welcome, Sandra. Alida wrote something, but you've taken it away. If it pops up again later, I'll read it. But we are now coming to the end of today's lesson. So really well done today, guys. Thank you very much for engaging. Some really good stuff. This is not easy to do, by the way, paraphrasing. So well done. We've all achieved the main objective of today's lesson. So I'm really pleased about that. Bruno says, thanks for the lesson. Have a nice evening. Alida says, Richard, can you give us a lesson about the difference between present continuous, be going to, and will when we are talking about the future someday, please? Thank you very much, Alida. I will do that next week. Let me make a note of that. I'll make a note of that straight away. Next week, I will do a lesson on the difference between the present continuous and the future of using will. So I will do that next week. Irina says thank you and have a nice evening. Sergio says thanks, and Alida says thanks as well. Just to remind you guys, tomorrow at 4 o'clock Maltese time, we've got a lesson on describing your mood. So we'll look at that tomorrow. Friday's story time, Harry Potter, build your vocabulary. And next week, either Monday or Tuesday, I will do a whole lesson on the difference between present continuous and the future of using the modal verb will. Leondina says thank you as well. Sandra, you too, have a nice evening. So to all of you who have participated in the live chat section today, thank you so much. There's been a lot of you, so I'm not going to go through each and every one of you, but really well done today, guys. Fantastic stuff. I'm really happy to see that you all managed to achieve the main task. So, guys, if you haven't already, like the video, share the video, and share the channel as well. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. As always, if you want to find out more about how you can have physical lessons at AM Language in Malta, you can always find the links in the description below, especially the link to our website. So thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful evening and bye for now. See you tomorrow, same time, 4 o'clock Maltese time. Take care. Bye for now.